Hello guys, it's me Stark and I'm here today to talk about a specific player, Onimaru Vinchester, a prominent player from Russia that's pretty good and has recently reached top 1 on the ranked ladder. So what this guy do so different to actually reach top 1? Well, honestly, if you do look on his last 30 games, he has won all of them. So this guy is not losing like a single game, with the exception, of course, of maybe some tournament games. So one of the reasons is that we are about to have a LAN tournament on China that unfortunately Vinchester did not qualify. For this reason, he's not finding other players on the same level of his to actually compete. And honestly, for this guy to climb, all we had to do was to take a few players out of the ladder, because no other player actually stands a chance. He's basically opening with drushes in most of the games. As you can see in this in most of the previous games, or in most of the games that he actually won here, he's basically opening here with drush. So he is a pretty decent guy, and he's beating out everyone on the ladder. So let's watch one of his games and see what conclusions we can take out from that. By the way, guys, good disclaimer here. I did not say that Vinchester is just top 1 because everyone's traveling. That's not what I mean here. What I actually mean is that he's not actually even finding a challenge here to dethrone him out of the rank 1. Right now, there are very few players with enough potential to even try to do that. So basically, let's see how does he play against a 2K6 player, Prisma, which is a rising star from Argentina. So Prisma is a very good player. He's like, as I said, a rising star, so he's a young and promising player. He plays really good, and honestly, if I had to point out some of his strengths, is the rating and the scout play. So let's take a look here on Vinchester and see how he's actually playing that. So starting with the beginning here. Good scouting, going towards the wood. He's playing a humans versus Jurchen game. As you guys probably know, humans are best known for their 2TC boom, but as you can see, Vinchester has different opinion and different plans for the civilization, and one of his trademarks is actually opening here with 4 villagers on the wood. We even show this build one of these days on the channel, guys, which is the basic drush. Upon going towards 4 villagers for the wood on the beginning of the game, you can actually afford making a barracks before 5 minutes of the game, which will allow you to rush and punish your opponent around 7 minutes on his own base. After defining a few stuff, he's actually going towards the barracks, and he'll probably start making some militia. So making some militia is already complementing his base here with some other houses and starting to wall and set up a good feudal age defense. So he's already connecting some forests, and he's going ahead here with 2 militias to try and punish his opponent. So 2 militias only, no more than that. And let's see how this is gonna play out. He did found a house from his opponent. His opponent is aware that he's around. He's trying to go for a lumber camp, and there is Vinchester trying to annoy the guy. 2 militias will hardly be able to kill a villager here already with the loom, so he does choose to go for the house. Meanwhile, at his home, after going for a regular opening, he did invest into a mill and is now already transitioning here now into the gold mine. By the way, right now he's trying to kill a house that has -2 armor, which means that it's quite fast to take down until your opponent goes to feudal age, and that is actually going to put some pressure here over Prisma. That's probably going to have to defend himself somehow. And he even ended up losing here a villager while trying to wall down the militias. Well, pretty good. I think that he did a good effort here. He lost a villager, but he did wall 2 from the militias from Vinchester. Moving on, he's not only stopping on these 2 militias, but the guy already resigned. So this game was quite fast. What's with this guy? He opens drush, kills 2 villagers, and people just give up on him? Is that it? Let's take another game here as an example. Right here, Vinchester is playing as the shoe, and Prisma is playing here as the kittens. So let's see how this will actually play out. So game has started, he's scouting, that's a chicken map, he is already pushing some neutral deers, and let's see if he's gonna place a 4th villager on the wood. There he goes, guys, the same build, the same strategy once again, drush, early drush here, so 4 guys on the wood. So what does he do different here from other players when drushing? Well, he did push 1 neutral deer, that's no big deal, he even killed a sheep, so there are, as you can see, some minor mistakes on his game. It's not like this guy's doing like a perfect game that no one can copy. He also is a human, so whatever he does, you can probably try yourself as well, especially strategically wise. There he goes, another once again for his barracks, and once he does the barracks, he's probably gonna do 2 houses, exactly like the previous game, guys. So he is opening up here with the militias. I'm still expecting him to move towards the mill. He did scout and find out some of his opponent's locations, so he's aware of where his opponent might be, and he is dropping out a mill. By dropping a mill, he's gonna be able to start collecting some berries. 2 militias are going ahead. His opponent has found him already with the scout and even dropped a few hits, so he's aware that Vinchester is on the way. So Prisma is aware that there is some militias here on his way, and he does choose to defend here by placing a few palisade walls around his mill and wood line. Okay, so that's how he is planning to defend. Vinchester is coming around, and by the way, on this game he's actively investing into some extra villagers here to wall. So far he has no loom, so these villagers here are at risk, but he's about to get loom. I don't know if this villager is gonna survive though, because there is a scout trying to kill it, and as I said, Prism is pretty good with his scouts. I think that this scout will probably die, because this villager, once loom is made, would still require at least 3 hits to be killed, and the scout only 2. So if Vinchester reacts correctly, he should never lose the villagers. Once again, guys, as I said, killing houses here is easier, so even if you cannot beat an enemy villager, you can actually try to hurt his houses, and that's exactly what he's doing. Meanwhile, he's almost fully walled, investing into a second lumber camp, and a good setup here with a 23 villagers, a feudal age. He's almost fully walled, so right now there will be no damage here being taken by any scout or man-at-arm opening, since his opponent won't be able to jump on his base. So far, what is Prisma doing? Well, he's actually going for farms. So farms here for Prisma, several of them. Actually, not farms, but textures from the kittens, which are pretty strong. And what is Vinchester doing? Well, Vinchester did invest here into an archer range and is making a slow archer transition. It's worth mentioning that he did get 2 upgrades here, double beat axe and horse collar. So he does some investments on his own economy. Going towards the opponent, as he can probably see, his opponent is only investing into farming, and he's going and moving there with some archers. I wonder if he's actually going to be able to find some kill, upgrading fletching before reaching out his opponent, and with the 2 economy he will soon have enough resources to click up. By the way, it's worth mentioning that he's actually investing into wheelbarrow. That's a very uncommon decision for most players. I believe that this was probably motivated by being housed for a while and not wanting to idle his own TC. Okay, he's beating up a spearman, his opponent is trying to defend with skirmishers, he's advancing with archers. And he might actually be able to get some villager, or maybe not. Maybe not, his opponent's already on the way to the castle age, he's not yet clicking up, but he's sending more archers forward and even investing into a second archer range. We do have here double archer range, he has a very solid economy, he's all walled, and he's still the one on the aggressive stance here. I wonder how he's gonna play the castle age here, especially versus a guy that's probably planning to play with the elite skirmisher. Prisma is already dropping a secondary TC, he's scouting the back of his wood line. What is Vinchester doing? Well, he's adding on his own home a new town center, a siege workshop, and upgrading the archers. I would say that he will probably play with double TC into Imperial Age here, guys, if I had to bet. Maybe I'm wrong, because he's investing into the archer armor, and that can actually mean that he's probably going towards a more aggressive game. So there he goes, Mangonel, crossbowmen. There's another group here waiting maybe to snipe some villagers or something like that. Prisma is playing very defensive. He didn't even try a counterattack against Vinchester. Surprising. And he did spot a monk, kill the monk, but now his position was given, his opponent knows that he's around here. There comes the second group, so attacking simultaneously, a very consistent way to deal damage. You do get the attention of your opponent on one side, where he's going to react, and meanwhile you do attack on the other, making it a lot harder for the defender. Pretty decent approach. So attacking in multiple sides, using crossbowmen, and so far he's just developing the eco, guys. He's just developing the economy, not yet investing into a third town center. So feels like he's actually gonna click to Imperial Age around villager number 60 or even before that. His economy is growing steady there and he's about to click towards the Imperial Age. A Mangonel advancing over enemy's town center. More and more crosswomen going around, rocket carts defending, and there he goes, he's already on the way to the Imperial Age. So he's actually doing this archer play on tournaments already for several times, that's not the first time I have seen it. So basically he does invest into a second town center, is still pressuring the opponent with crossbow mangonel, and does click up towards the next age. I think that this strategy is pretty decent with the Shu, because as soon as he does reach the Imperial Age, he'll be able to make the attraction trebuchet as well from his siege workshop. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Vinchester actually invested into a forward siege workshop to already start making attraction trebuchets on the hill and pressuring his opponent. There's his opponent playing with rocket carts, he's just microing his own archers and mangonels. An advanced monastery, okay. And there it comes, guys, the advanced siege workshop, as I said, which can be pretty good. Only now investing into a third town center, and he's about to reach Imperial Age around at 28 minutes. So that's a very fast Imperial Age. He's basically skipping the 3 TC boom and doing like a 2 TC boom to get and collect the benefits from this timing. Another very easy game, honestly, how it seems for him. So this guy is doing wonders here. Let's go for another one. I'm trying to find some good opponent here. Prism again. Prism is 2k6, guys. The other guys were like 2k2, 2k1. He would obviously win. I want to see how he's consistently beating 2k5, 2k6 guys. Vikings versus Malians. Well, if I had to bet, he's probably going to open with a Drush, right? Let's take a look. 2 to the wood, 3 to the wood, maybe a 4th one. There he goes, guys. So 4 to the wood. Drush is indeed very strong. 1 villager to make a house, wait a bit, make a barracks, make 2 more houses. Yeah, I can predict his moves. Already adding some small walls, so this is a very nice attention to the detail. Already using the villager that is ahead to finish off his walls, and already transitioning fast as possible here towards the mill. She has transitioned to the mill. This is a chicken map. There's a good chance he can catch some villager out of guard. There's a deer, a neutral deer going towards his opponent TC. And for now, he's just going around. His opponent has a wood line. As you can see, trying to fight against the villagers is usually not the best idea, since they are actually already going to have loom around this time if your opponent is going for a regular 19 villager up here, or 18 villager up. So he will do what? Obviously attack the enemy house. So there he is, attacking the enemy house, has done some good economy setup on his base. He's already investing into more goes there. So my expectation is that he will actually transition into archers, or no, maybe not. I was wrong, guys. He still found some damage here, and instead of investing into extra archers, he is already adding up extra militias. So his opponent is probably not expecting to have to deal with men-at-arms just right after beating enemy men-at-arms, and that's actually what's gonna happen. His opponent is actually trying to go for a scout opening. He's sending the first scout forward, he's walling, he's building up a bit, he's playing with double lumber camp, and he is totally unaware that he's about to face even a second wave of men-at-arms. So he did double the bet, and his men-at-arms are actually finding quite some good damage here. Two villagers down for sure. He already took one with the 2 initial militias, so he's already killing the guy. So yes, basically abusing from the early stages of the game, setting up a good arcade, denying his opponent to do any counterattack and deal damage here with early scouts or early archers. Pretty solid approach, and he's consistently beating every one of it. Impressive.